All right, call of finance 66. Commissioner Winters, you done with okay. And that takes us to page 67, which we've already done. And then we go to ag, which is they've moved to the Pi Center, and I believe this is. I'm looking at here. I don't have any notes on there. Does anybody have anything for ag? Seeing none, go to page 69. Soil conservation. I forget what that falls under your department, Mayor.
Federal department, but we basically fund a secretary for them.
Anything on page 69? Seeing none, looking both ways, nothing. Page 70, stormwater and engineering. The engineer moved over to roads, right? And so that's that. Is there an opening in stormwater?
Well, there's a part-time opening.
Oh.
It's just one employee and one part-time employee, and the part-time, I think, is vacant now.
Any questions on that? It looks like he just did the 3% and a little $200 on tuition training. Anything on page 70? Seeing none, very good. Tourism and development, which is part of the hotel motel tax, is percentage of the collections. And IDB board, page 72 is the same. And then we get into the nonprofit Greenway, 10,000, their annual allotment. Public transportation matching share, 42,000. Veterans. Did he lose an employee?
No. They're just 3 employees, I believe, but they're full.
Anything on that? None. This is not budget related, but I'll take up 20 seconds. In Gatlinburg, they gave props to all the counties that have this office. Apparently, I knew this already from our trip at Nashville, but they're asking more counties to consolidate their veterans offices. Or
Combined
anyway,
counties, you mean?
There's some counties that don't have a veterans office, and we do. Anyway, I was glad because I sit on that veterans committee. Anyway, veterans services do a good job. Other charges, that's the trustee. And contributions to nonprofits, Fort Hill. They got what they got last year. I think everybody just went with what they got last year on their request, right?
I recommended everyone staying the same, and as you know, the city's implementing the hotel motel tax at some point, and they're committing a big portion of theirs to the museum. So,
but it's not official yet, from what I understand, because the hotel association wants to opine on that, from what I understand. Commissioner Alford, please.
Just a question. If
Please.
city goes with a motel hotel tax, do we still have to give them part of our motel hotel tax?
No.
Aren't they getting a bunch of our motel?
No, we don't give them any. Ours goes where we agreed to the private act for it to go. We don't give it to the city, no.
Where else does it go?
The private act has it going to Industrial Development Board, to tourism, to Tri-State, to the fund that pays for the debt on the industrial park, and then some to general fund.
But none to the city?
No.
Okay, thank you.
And county clerk gets 5%
For collecting.
collecting fee. The city doesn't have to do that. I called it the comptroller's office. Why we have to do that if they don't. Yep. All right. Anything else? So those are our nonprofits. Anything on there? Super quick, Mayor. Is Cetra the one that changed their routes? I saw something about that.
Yeah, there's 2 sets of programs. One's a fixed route bus system, and one is direct. You call, they come to you. So there's two different ones out there.
I thought there was some bus service that changed it about Commissioner Slater. I'm sorry. Oh, Commissioner Cry, please. I'm Chairman Cry. I'm sorry. Oh, we passed them. I'm sorry. Same 4,000.
They asked for 10 and I put 4, Commissioner. Um, What budget are we in?
We're in general fund
101.
account 584, page 77, the very last line item, dues and memberships.
Yeah, I got you.
28,000. That's Southeast Tennessee.
Probably. It's probably development district.
We looked it up.
Theirs is based on per capita, so it probably is, since it changed.
You're still on that one as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. They're the ones who handle a lot of our art money with. They're
Yeah.
still doing.
Are they still what?
They're still handling a lot of the art
Oh, yeah.
recording
Yeah.
for the contract or whatever.
They met with all the utilities on that $8 million grant that finally got approved yesterday. They were the ones that will be administering it also.
And they also go after block grant money for us.
And they get their funding from grants, from admin money and other people's grants like that, and then through per capita for the counties, from the counties. It's a 10-county district.
Commissioner Alford, please.
Veteran services.
Okay,
Just
we're
for a
going back to page 75, veterans.
Is there any movement of room in there anywhere that we could satisfy Mr. Cry with his veterans uniforms or whatever out of other fringe benefits, TCRS or anything like that?
So Chairman Alford, I don't think you can put it in their budget per se, because they would fall under a nonprofit. So it would come out of page 77. This is Chairman Cry. Just a quick question. This is the I forget their acronym, but Southeast Tennessee John. His last name. Thank you. Yeah. His organization, the Honor Guard, the ones at
Yeah,
the
they go
funerals.
around.
Is that? Do I have it correct, Chairman Cry? Is that the one?
It's the same one. I don't know if that's the correct terminology.
They applied for HCI and stuff like that.
It doesn't fit criteria for HCI. So they
It was
personnel uniforms or
right.
something.
But we don't put any strings attached for when we appropriate. To the best of my knowledge, Mayor, we don't. When we give money to nonprofits, we don't tell them they have to use it any certain way. Correct? We just, except for one, there's one. So, Chairman Cry, what would you like to do?
I don't. I'm not for giving them a huge amount of money. I would like to provide enough where they could pay for the gas and uniform cleaning the uniforms. I would think 5,000 would be enough. A good place to pull that out of would be the museum center, since they have the hotel motel tax coming over the horizon to bail them out. They were supposed to be self-proficient after about the first 4 years. I'm not in a position to make a motion, but I sure would appreciate it if we give them something.
All right. Anybody want to take an action on that? Main Street gets 20,000. They always have. Museum 16. Boys and Girls Club was added about 5 years ago. They're still the same. Then,
What's the contributions to Four Hills? That for the lawnmower or what?
Yeah,
Mhm.
Mowing part? It went down. Did they budgeted this? You left it at
It's-
same as before?
Yeah, it's the same.
the only thing I'll say is that once you do this, there's no going back. I mean,
Could
but
you,
you know, veterans doing the honor guard and their ceremony and pomp and circumstance at funerals. I mean, how could you not be for that? But I just want us to think about this. Oh, we just dues and membership Southeast Tennessee. Yeah, it's a multiple membership.
so it's NACO Development District, and what's the first one?
At Charles Curtis. You know,
3 different members.
well, yeah, I'd be for getting rid of them. Charles Curtis. Since we're being recorded, I have to.
Could you do it out of your 599? Maybe add 5,000 to your 599 and retain some control where it's not an automatic every year?
I don't know. I mean,
That's just
and
a
if
thought. But
and give it a test run kind of thing.
yeah, because if you put it here, what he's saying, just like that last one there, it got added 3 or 4 years ago and it's still there. It'll be there.
All right, I just help.
Yeah, that means they're not part of the nonprofit resolution, but yeah, Mayor. Oh.
So,
Add it with that intention of help, giving them that help, buy the uniforms, and then next year go to one of those other Southeast Tennessee counties and get the same thing. And
so I'll make a motion that we add $5,000 for,
All right, we're gonna go back to the county commission line on page 7, real quick. Yep.
I'll make a motion that we add $5,000 to 599 to fund uniforms and gas, related to the, honor guard.
All right. I have a motion from Commissioner Slater for Fund 101, account 51100, line 599, to add $5,000 for the Tennessee Veterans Honor Guard. Is that their official title? And we'll put that, since it's itemized down there, that'll take it, that 63,186 to 60, you said 5,000?
I did.
Okay, 68,186. And is that effective at the passing of the budget, or? So when the budget's passed, they can get, okay, I just wanna make sure. And I have a second from Commissioner Winters. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye over here. All right, passes 5-0. So there's another edit for you, Lori and Mayor. All right. Anything else, Commissioner Cry?
Oh, I just thank all of
You're welcome. All right. Page 77, we're done with that. Moving on, Mayor said he wants me to go faster. Here we go, employee benefits, 0. I like that. Medical insurance. And then we get into, I was looking at this the other day and it took me a second to remember what this was about. This is the state gave us that $1 million. They said they were going to do 2. Then they thought about it because we got money from the federal, and they're like, you're only going to get $1 million. But we spent. I don't know if all these projects are done though, Mayor. Like Chessie Road.
the only thing that's not done is Sheffy Lane.
Sheffy Lane. So that's why it's still in there. Then we get into page. We've already done opioid and the law library. That's a subscription. County library. We talked about the other night. We're still budgeting so that they're balanced on there. Landfill. Anything on there? Mayor, on page 87, that 399 other contracted services, that's hazardous waste day, right?
No, that is tire recycling. You know, we hear a lot about tires, and we spend a lot of money. That's
Oh, I'm sorry.
when
That's
we haul them from the landfill.
that's
you-
the
Household hazard is the 399 down there in the recycling budget.
ah. Oh, okay. So this is hazardous.
And then you've got your other two things down toward the bottom of that page.
Yep, thank you. I'll be talking about that. All right, anything on landfill? Nothing? Good. Fire, I didn't see anything on fire. They got the 3% raise, and I don't think he's asking for any big purchase items.
No, they asked for a couple of vehicles. One of them is an ARP.
I mean,
Um,
because
They-
I didn't really spend much time because I figured you knew if there was any big things, it would go to federal money.
no, that the vehicle's in ARP, and they asked for the thing to do the
The
air
generator
tank,
thing.
and it's in ARP. They
Oh.
they did put money like they're told to for their portion of a engine every 3 years. I took that out because that was messing up the fund balance.
Commissioner Offer, please.
Do we know what vehicles they're gonna swap out or trade in?
It's a commander vehicle. I'm not sure which one, but it's a commander.
I
They
was
asked
just-
for two, and there's money for one.
I was just gonna make a suggestion, we look at maybe some of those that the sheriff's turning back into. The recreation department actually needs vehicles bad. They're driving an old pick-em-up truck, it's probably
Yeah,
older
I've
than
seen
me.
Thing is,
91.
well, I mean, if they could use, more than likely the commander vehicle is probably a Tahoe or something like that. I don't know if that's what they'll want, but if they could, they just need to make sure they let us know when we do the trading.
Okay, I'll relay that message. Thank you.
Personnel, no hit. I know there's no head count, but said you got rookie school coming up, so
With this rookie school,
So
we
two-
are
yeah.
where we need to be.
Yep.
But that may not be true next week, but yeah.
and you see their fund balance, and that's what the mayor was talking about earlier this morning. We're just gonna have to watch it a little bit close next year or two.
Their fund balance is getting very tight.
So if we can use some of the quote unquote donation money,
Well, if we can use some more ARP this next year, it's not budgeted now, but if we can think ahead and use it for something, it would behoove us to do that, because we're not gonna be able to do big time purchases in this fire budget for a while. Salaries are eating it all up.
all right, page 96, tri-state agriculture. We don't have much to do with it, but you can see with, as the mayor was talking about a few minutes ago, they are a part of the Hotel Motel Private Act, so it's all spelled out in a formula.
They have to live within that revenue from us. Now, they have their own money they raise that they pay a lot of their bills and stuff with. Our attempt is to pay their operations here. Sometimes that's not doable, but they're to live within the amount they get from that. We don't put tax money into it other than hotel motel tax.
All right. We talked about the other thing, that they wanted a $70,000 building project or something. They're gonna use their money. Then we get into ARP, and I'm on page one, I'm sorry, I'm on page 98. And there's the fund balance right there. And we get to talk about schools next. That's good.
God, she's gonna make our meeting get longer.
The other night, Mayor, you said that everything with respects to affordable housing, that's how I've always looked at it, is done except for Family Promise. Is that what I heard?
Family
Or-
Promise,
okay,
Ocoee
yeah.
Outreach, and Community Services
Oh,
Agency.
I see it. Let me make a note right there. On page 100, those
Right.
first three lines, that is how much is left over in their allocation, right?
Right.
So there you go. Everybody else is done. United Way, Habitat, Caring Place, and City Fields are done with their. Other equipment, 19,200. Kind of, I don't know what that is. The library building improvements, that's what's left. So everything in your proposal is what's left.
It's, on that page, it's what's not been paid. Like the library, it's the difference of what's been paid in there.
Okay.
The annex roof one, what did I put in there that's 19.2? I don't remember offhand.
19.2.
The one you just passed up in the middle of that page of
Yeah, I
page
don't
one.
know what that is.
Oh, I knew you was gonna ask me, but, I know, and I'm thinking out loud. I can't recall what it is offhand. You go on, I'll think of it. What it is, that line was used to finish the annex roof, and then I put something back in there this year that's 19.2, but I don't remember what. No, the parking lot's done. Striping's done. I'll think of it in a minute.
All right. Page 101. Broadband grant. I'm gonna have some new information at the work session on Monday on that. Next thing is including utility water line, Hawassa Utilities, Akoa Utilities water line. And then vehicles, sheriff's cars, 633,000. That was 710. So he must have already purchased some cars.
He did.
And then the 50,000 is used cars. That's what it was in 189. But whatever, he's got 50,000. But so basically, he's got, all in all, $760,000 worth of vehicle purchasing power. I think that's worth noting.
And there are,
We stepped up to the plate with respects to vehicles with the sheriff's
you have, and there are grants that he's able to do that with too, so there's even more than that.
Next one is the jail and HVAC. So we spent a lot of money on this building. And then we get to EMS, 280,000 for another vehicle. Hopefully it's not an international. Fire compressors, we just talked about. EMS laptops. Then vehicles, fire. That's what you were talking about, Louis. The vehicle, fire, commander vehicles, 40,000. And so it's gonna. The chief's gonna get a new vehicle. He's got 40,000 that he's got on there. EMS laptops.
For the vehicles,
Yeah.
we replaced some of them, and this is to finish them. You know, when we first put them in a few years ago, they're getting old now. And so the ones that weren't working, we already replaced, but the rest of them need to be replaced.
Okay. Elrod, there's your 800,000 Commissioner offered. Building improvements, grant match, road department striping, 500,000. Polling books, elections, juvenile. We did that 32. Thank you, Mayor. Juvenile courtroom renovation. I don't even remember that. And then 65 there, and that is it. And that leaves, like, back here.
After we spend 8.2 million this next year, we'll have 1.6.
So on page 98 is where he does the summary statement. So you see the total revenue. And again, this is money we've already got, so there's no cash flow issue per se. 1.638 is left. All right. Any questions on art money of what we have kind of agreed to in principle to a certain speed? I guess resolutions coming after the budget's passed. Once you negotiate contracts and stuff like that. Commissioner Alford.
Yeah, it's, park money, we got quite a bit. How much interest have we earned off of that since we started, Mayor?
Look on page 99, 98. We definitely got 12,000 last year. It looks like we're gonna get roughly 400,000 this year. And of course, as that dwindles down, we're guessing, but next year I plugged in 150. Because we will have spent it down from 9 million to 1 million next year. But anyway, there's still good, decent amount of that coming in. And those figures, that amount can add to your bucket that you have discretion.
That's what I'm talking about. That's,
You have discretion, you own so much of it, and then this interest can be spent however you want to. In other words, we'll add it to the discretionary budget at some point, yeah.
but how much is it again? The interest?
Right now, it looks like we will have collected a little over 400,000, but we'll collect another 150,000 before it's over.
Okay.
Another reason I want to spend it, but taking our time is making us some good interest that we can spend as you
I'm
choose.
not anxious to spend it either. I just
Yeah.
want, got an idea.
What are you talking about? Most of these things are in their years.
But at the same time, we are getting to the point where we want to get it spent next year, in the next
Yeah.
2 years. I mean, we need to get it going.
All right. Any questions on art? Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, yeah. Go ahead. $1.4. 12/1/2023. Okay. Spring branch. 1.9. 7/1/2023. Okay. Mm-hmm. 0.7. 12/1/2023. So those are the next payments. So Mayor, if we wait till February of next year,
It's moot point then, really.
so
What I know I can do is pay the extra in 172.
yeah, so we'll circle that
So
one.
I'll
right
pay
there.
it. I've already budgeted to do it. I would want to wait as long as possible to decide on those other two, but we know we can pay more. It's just a question of how much more.
Mhm.
And the thing is, I want to pay as much on December the 1st as possible, because knowing that rate's going up. So that
Yeah.
way it'll be going up on a lesser
I think
balance.
it is definitely going up. Fed's
Yeah.
going up again.
Yeah, what I will
Next week.
probably do is pay all I think I can comfortably in November, take an amendment probably, pay it in November, and then whenever I negotiate the rate, he'll tell me what my payment is, but I will have lowered it.
So instead of that being a February agenda item, can you make it a November?
Yeah,
agenda
November
item?
probably.
Thank you. Especially that workhouse at 1.4. All right, 2 out of 4.
Speaking, mentioned workhouse, have we got that place rented out yet?
Over there?
Those offices?
Yeah, $600 a month.
Yeah, it's rented to that organization, that multi-grant group. What's it called?
Where's that showing up in our budget? General fund,
Revenue.
Yeah, it's
revenue?
revenue of leases. You won't see just that one, but there's a lease thing where that, Tennessee Rehab, several leases that we have show up.
All right, that is it with respect to art money, unless somebody has a question or comment or cheap shot.
It's ARC money till is it 26?
Oh, got until September 1 of 2024 to appropriate the money.
Yeah.
And to the end of 2026 to have the project done. And based on, I guess, this debt ceiling thing that Congress and Biden have done, they sent out a thing that if you do not have it appropriated by September 1, 2024, they want their money back because they're counting on that. And there's like two other things in there: the art money, the COVID-19, and some other disaster relief. That so when Senator Marsha Blackburn was in town, we asked her if there would be integrity. We asked if there'd be any extension. They couldn't commit to it. Now we know why.
We'll have it committed by that 24.
But we'll spend every penny. We'll be sitting here in mega meeting June of next year. We'll buy a bubblegum machine if we have to.
We just got half as, well, this year we're spending 8 million. Next year we just got 1 to worry about how we commit it. We'll have that committed. The real question is, will the broadband and these water projects get done by that deadline? Because they're talking, 2 and 3 year delivery times on those things.
Well, the broadband's starting to get some momentum.
They've got another grant that they hadn't even awarded yet, though, supposedly, and it's going to get
Oh,
tight.
you're talking about that? I know. But we're going to talk. They're done. They're actually taking orders now. We're going to talk about that on Monday. And I chatted with VEC about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I said, "Hey, the state, from what we hear this spring, normally they were getting the grants out, and from what I understood, they weren't doing it this year, or they're way behind. Do we want to pull the trigger and go with the 50-50 option like we talked about?" I argued that night to try to get more bang for the buck, but if it didn't turn out the state was too slow, then we would do the 50-50. But he said, let's wait, because his statement to me was the state wasn't prepared for the overwhelming request that they got. Kind of incredible to believe. But I'm ready to go with the 50-50 with the rest of the money that we put in the bucket when VEC's ready. But that's there. But right now, your area, specifically Tasso Road and Shadow Valley, they put flyers on people's doors saying, sign up.
I hadn't seen
I'll show it to you on Monday.
Hmm.
Susan, welcome.
I can't wait for this.
Susan, we changed yours so much, we don't have time to discuss it. But
I can't wait.
Well, now come up to the microphone. Is there anything since the last time we chat that the state has updated you on, especially TISA? I guess my question, does it mean more money for you? Oh. Any questions? Well, all I got with schools, not much we can do with you. No, no. I mean, I'm sorry. I mean, we've been through this 100 times. The property tax is flat, as you know. You're counting on sales tax, um, and you got a lot of money coming from the state. All right. Last thing, Lori, is there anything I'm supposed to do? All right. Last thing is deciding what this committee wants to do with the true ups. The recommendation is to do it. They're not going to be ready today. We scheduled tomorrow, but true ups really only take about 30 minutes. I mean, there's really basically two questions to ask. It's not that difficult. Renee's doing all the hard work right now. So I hate to bring everybody in for 30 minutes tomorrow. So the question really becomes, we have a work session on Monday, and we got a photo scheduled, team photo right before. So would the committee rather meet before the photo session or after Chairman Cry? Go ahead. Oh. Well, I know where you got it from.
I think it's going to take photos before.
Now, the only thing about being after is like if you got to get out of here, you can't. So
I can do
So I'm gonna look to Commissioner Alford. Would you like to meet before or after the work session? No, it's a day session. 11:15. You're after. So that's 1-to-1. That's 2-to-1. Commissioner Mason. Before, so it's before. Oh, you changing your vote now? We're gonna 11:15. Let the media know. Right. So we're gonna come in here. We're gonna sit in a little corner. We're gonna true up, make a motion, adopt all the true ups. Just boom. 11:15, Mayor. When will you think we'll get the true ups? Will we get them tomorrow or over the weekend? We gotta have it before Monday. So, Lori, if you'll set the calendars for 11:15, Finance Committee will meet. The agenda item is true ups. All right. If there's nothing else, thank you guys very much. Long day, but this is our job in finance, right? Huh? I know. Yeah, we've gone to 3 or 4 o'clock before. We can do it again if you want. Very good. We are adjourned. Thank you.